We'll go ahead and get started. Everybody starts straggling in probably in just a minute. I was running a little bit behind this morning. Uh, Nice push yesterday on a Monday. No news. You just got basically into one direction and just kept going. But most of this move was overnight. Um, and that is honestly where most of the news happened. Uh, was kind of early in the morning, overnight, and that kind of gave it its, I guess, punch. I don't really know. Morning, Chris. But so most of that white candle right there was all an overnight move. And this is on the NASDAQ. So drop into the 4 hour, we start really seeing these different types of lines and structures, and you'll know where kind of where we're at. Um, this was basically overnight. This green candle was about the end of it was basically the market open. And then this was the afternoon. So most of the move from here to here was overnight. And then we did have a nice afternoon move. It happened around 1:30, I think. I had already shut my charts and everything off. I didn't like the way the morning was moving. There was really no news driver, so I just kind of stepped away from it. I was waiting for one. I wanted it to go long. I wanted us to keep pushing. Just kind of seemed like that was where we were heading in the morning, especially on like a lower time frame. Because we got into here and I was talking about, we're meeting structure. I'd like to see a pretty good pullback. And the median was roughly, I think the median was right around in here. But the Monday range hadn't been set yet, which is these three blue lines. Hadn't been set yet. So the median was kind of down in here. But as you can see, the median has already moved because the Monday high has moved. But anyways, I wanted it to pull back into the median. We started getting that pullback. So I started looking for longs. And if you go into like a 5 minute chart, in fact, I know the median was like right in here when this move started to come back, and we got real choppy right here. And I actually like this setup, the way these two candles look, the way those two candles right there look. I actually really kind of like that. Um, so we go into a replay of it, and I wanted this candle on this 5 minute chart to close like right up in here. And it was right there with about a minute left to go in that candle. And I was really setting up to take a long for the push back into the 400s. And this would have been about, if I had closed right in here, I think it was going to be what I was looking at was going to be between about 25 to 40 points, is kind of what I had on my radar. 21 was kind of in our face, but with a close here, I didn't think there would be any issue with getting a break above that 21 and then a continuation in the next one, and then probably coming all the way up here into the structure. Unfortunately, as you can tell, we didn't get that close the way I wanted to, and that was when I was kind of like, I think I'm just going to hang out. And wait a minute, next candle comes in and it just starts breaking down. I hadn't really given up on it, but as you can see, that's where the median is at this time. So Monday high was here. Here's the median. I hadn't given up on it completely, but at this point, I was kind of like, I don't think it's going to happen. And then that breakdown. And that's when I was like, you know what? I wanted to go long. Looks like the market wants to go down. I think I'm just going to walk away for a second, let it kind of do its thing. And then I might look to get back in, but I just never really came back to the market. Kind of got busy in the classes and realizing that I was on the wrong side of things, not really trusting it. The fact that there was no news driver. We have CPI tomorrow, which at the time we had CPI Wednesday. So I was like, this might be just a range day. We might get down in here. It might tempt me again. and then break back down. And then, this is what I was kind of expecting it to look like the rest of the day. And we kind of started doing that throughout the whole morning. Um, we kind of started doing that. That's kind of basically what I thought was going to happen. And then all of a sudden, at about about 1:30, we started getting this push. But I was already away from the market and not looking at it. When my initial thoughts on what I wanted the market to do, which has been pretty good lately, and it didn't do that, I was like, man, I'm good. And it all came down to that candle right there. It probably wasn't too long ago. I'd have went ahead and took a position and then possibly a loss. I mean, not possibly, but then taking a loss. Um, instead of being patient and waiting. The fact that, if I was just sitting here at the computer watching the chart, that might have been the case. But the fact that I was able to walk away from it and get busy, I didn't take that trade. And when I came back to it, we had ranged and I was like, I'm done. It's not doing what I wanted to do. So today's just probably going to be a no trade day, and it ended up being a no trade day. So count that as a win. I know, right? So the good thing is I got the charts pulled up and I can see it, and I kind of know when my window is, right? I kind of know, the 10 o'clock, deal. And honestly, here's your Casper play, and that's the one that between 10 to 11, that silver bullet. I think Fred's calling it the Casper play now or whatever. And it ended up being a loss. So stopped out. And that went against my bias, and that's another reason why I didn't want to play that. Um, so let me see. So this was that move. And the dollar was breaking down. So this is reversed. This whole chart is reversed. So it's going down as it goes up. Just follow the different candles, the color of it. So because this was going down, you know, this should have been going up. But it wasn't. It was just it just ranged right there. I mean, this is a huge breakdown on the dollar, and the market actually broke down with it for a little bit of it, but just went straight sideways. So again, that's another reason I just didn't play it, didn't feel the need to, and would not have taken a short anyways, just because I was wanting the market to move a little bit higher. Just it did exactly what I wanted it to. When it got up here, I wanted to break down to the median. It did. And then when we started ranging, this was good, but it just ranged too long for me. And that's the reason why I stayed away and didn't trade it. So I would not have taken that trade anyways, because it went against the way I thought the market was going to go. So all right, let's back out to about the 4 hour. I think the 4 hour. Let's see now. I agree. I agree. And also like how it does in relation to the correlation with the dollar. So I think that would be a good kind of a research thing too, where so how did the market do when it was trading with the dollar? How did the silver bullet do? Because like I said yesterday, when we were breaking down here on this candle, so was the dollar. The dollar was just slap moving down. So with this breakdown, you would have thought we'd have gotten the move. We got this move, but we got this move when the dollar started consolidating. So we go into a 15-minute chart. Yeah, there's your market open. Right here. Push up, but the market pushed up at this time. And then as it slams down, the market started breaking down. So, and then when the market started pushing up, the dollar was straight sideways. So not really any kind of good read on what was going on. So I don't think I didn't really recognize it in correlation with the dollar until after. I mean, I know I mentioned it that so at 9 o'clock it was like I'm looking long for about 20 to 30 NQ. Actually before that, I said reaching at 8 o'clock. It was like reaching in structure, big move overnight, want it to break down, head back to the median, and then it did, and then Toby ended up hitting a nice short. And I was like, at that point, when the market had gotten into this consolidated range, I was like, okay, let's break back up. So it went all the way down to right in here, but there was structure below this. And on my computer at work, I didn't have this line. That would have been nice to have. They didn't correlate from one to the other. So if you go to the 4-hour chart, it's the reason I had the 4-hour chart pulled up. So this line was good with this right through here. And then, oh shoot, there. Morning, Kyle. But yeah, from here all the way over, that was a perfect touch on that structure. And I did not have that line at work. I don't have some of these lines between all of them. Yeah. So here I'm using the app at work. I don't use that. So, and honestly, the app on my tablet doesn't do it either. And I don't know why. So I log in the same way, but for some reason these lines don't correlate. I have certain lines on my tablet that are different. I don't know. It's just I kind of have to go through like if I and yesterday I didn't do morning analysis like I'm doing right now. So it wasn't fresh because usually on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, if I've looked at the market like I'm doing right now, then as soon as I get to work or as soon as I get off or whatever, I'll make sure that I can see it. But anyways, this line was not on my chart, and that would have been nice to have because market came right down into it, touched it, and then broke up. And then we have this beautiful line here that is very nice. And on a 4-hour chart, this is pretty clean all the way over. And that's the one that we kind of bounced off of. We got a little bounce there. And then right there overnight this morning. Nice little touch into it here. And then a pretty good rejection off of it. So go back to a 4-hour. So I know it's getting kind of messy in here. We got a lot of lines on this chart. But the Monday range is set. Looks like we're going to pull back into the median a little bit, or maybe we've dropped as much as we can. I'm not for sure. Without news today, again, no real clear driver of what we're going to do. Are we going to continue with this push, or are we going to break it back down? So I would just be careful. Today might be more of a rangy day as opposed to tomorrow's CPI at 7:30 or 8:30. So, morning, Josh. Good evening, Josh. So, I would definitely be cautious today. Smaller sizes, tighter targets. Play the clear trade. Yeah. Good morning, Kyle. I might have said it a little bit too early, man. Drop into an hourly on this. So, I mean, if you're looking at this, it looks like we've broken structure and like we're going to continue down, and that's a real possibility. This candle right here, the fact that we broke up and now we're coming back into it and rejecting, um, I would be a little cautious. Go to a 30-minute chart and see what that looks like. The median. Median looks like a good spot. We break down on the median, we're going to continue further. If we don't, we hold this blue line, which is situated right around 97, 50, 97, 75, which is right here. Top of these guys right in here. I'm not going to leave this line here, but that's a good area to really kind of, if we start to break down from this fair value gap and structure, this is where I would look. We got down here and we consolidated and started to break up, then this is where I'm looking. If we got down in here and we started to break down, then clearly we're going to the Monday low. So that's kind of like the line in the sand, I guess, for me. So 15-minute chart on the NASDAQ. But I think all my lines are on this chart that I like. I won't put any more on here. It's already getting a little messy. On a 15-minute chart, it doesn't look as messy as the higher time frames, but so these three structure lines are, just outside or just inside the Monday range. So it's a good place to look. We start breaking down. This is going to be the line. This is going to be the area just because of all this situated. Good liquidity there. We've got liquidity right there underneath that nice structure line that we did bounce off of. And that's a 4-hour area. Weekly down here that we could break down into. And then the Monday low with inefficiency just below the Monday low. So if I was a betting man, grind pullback with maybe a market open like here and then a market open dive and then possibly a little return. I don't think it's going to do much today. And so if I'm not presented with, because I mean, all the news is done for the day. So if I'm not presented with just the absolute perfect setup, then it's probably a no trade day again today. Because I did not, for those of you that just got here, I did not trade yesterday at all. So yeah, if I'm not presented with, I would assume if we kind of hang out in here, then I would basically be looking for a short or maybe like a push up and then a breakdown. Get above these highs, hit that structure again, and then a breakdown. But I think I would probably be looking for a little bit of shorts today. Yesterday, I was wanting longs from this area after this breakdown that I asked for, and it did not give it to me in time for me to really see the market. We did eventually go up, but didn't give it to me in time. And it's going to be the same this morning. If for some reason we're kind of hanging out and it does give me a short play, let's say right in here to that median, then I may take it. If for some reason we grind down into here and then we just start kind of doing this, then I probably won't trade. So the dollar, go to the daily on it, just kind of get a sense of it. Yesterday was super bearish, but a lot of that bearishness was before market open. So we're down into this daily. This is a good place to bounce. I want to see it breaking down though. So if for some reason, like we kind of reached up, I think I mentioned this in one of the videos last week about how we're just kind of grinding up. This is not a clear push to the upside. It does not look like this. So there's no momentum behind this move. There's small pushes of momentum, but this overall range is just not a crazy dollar strong type of move. So it's hard to kind of trust it. These last few candles have shown that we do have momentum, but if you look at the market at the same time that the dollar is doing this, it's kind of sideways. So there's not really any correlation between the two, which makes it a hard read overall in using this as an indicator. I just don't trust the dollar right now. And I think that when it does break down, it's going to break down like this. I think there's a lot of liquidity right in here that it's going to want to grab. Pretty good structure point. I think we get down into this wedge and maybe fake to the bottom side before eventually pushing back up. But yeah, absolutely. Great reason to not trade. And that's the reason why I was kind of yesterday. I was actually, I mean, it was one of those things like I was kind of upset in the moment because I really thought I was going to get my long trade. I really thought that this is about to break out. I'm about to go ahead and be able to push the buttons. I was very close to taking the trade anyways, just jumping in because the market seemed to be setting up like it had been, but I didn't. Kind of got myself busy. And then when the market broke down, when I wanted it to break out, I walked away from it. So I was really, really kind of happy with my decision yesterday in trading and was not too upset about it in the long run. So, like, considered it a win. So it looks like we've already gotten underneath that for that liquidity grab um, right here. So the fact that we've kind of already dipped into that liquidity, that's the reason why you're seeing this pretty good push from the dollar. If we get back above this, then this might continue up to this structure. So maybe some bullishness, which goes along with some bearishness for the market today, and which I'm looking for. But yeah, this is a pretty good bullish move. Let me get some of those lines off of there. Let me zoom in just a little bit. So looking at the 4 hour, yeah, I like the fact that we've taken this liquidity, gotten into that inefficiency down in here. In fact, almost there, but definitely here. Let me put a line on that. Yeah. To me, that's close enough, right? So we've kind of pushed down into that structure, created that Monday low, and then a nice bounce. The fact that this is that kind of pattern that I like to see, that little bit of a consolidation back up, which was yesterday morning. And then the breakdown, this nice candle. Now we've completely pushed away from it. So that's displacement. 15 minutes left in that 4 hour candle. Probably get a little pullback here and then a go. So I like the dollar to be strong, which should indicate some bearishness in the market, which is what I would like to see. Drop into a 15-minute chart. Skip the hour. Drop into a 15-minute chart. Yeah, it's a pretty good push. We've got a gap here that we have not touched. Looks like that's where it's going. So dollar has a really good gap. Let me see. Is that a? Oh my goodness. Hang on. Sorry. So open here. Well, it's kind of green lines. So I don't trust these candles right here. I'm just going to put it right there at the top of it. So the difference in this candle and the bull candles is the fact that it's outlining green. So I don't know what that means. Um, I don't know if it's bullish or bearish. I don't know where the market opened. Does anybody else's look different, or do you have like a weird hollowed out bear candle on yours as well? 5 minute chart, see if it shows any difference. Yeah, see, no. I would assume it opened here and just immediately slammed up, then rolled. But I don't know. It's just a weird candle. Okay, yours is a bull candle. See, I've been faked out by this before just because it's a green outer candle. So let's go to 3 minute chart and see if I can't see. All of mine are the same way. That's the reason I don't change. I don't trust that candle. Anyways, I'm gonna say that the gap is from the bottom of this candle, which is an indecision candle, opening to the bottom of that. That's where I'm gonna say this gap is that we're trying to reach for right now on the dollar. Let's go back out to the 15. Let's see. I don't know what that means, but otherwise, mine looks the same. Yeah, I don't get it either. It's almost like it's a phantom type of like I bet that if you went down to a 30-second chart, it'd almost be that big. So go to a 1 minute chart just to prove that to myself. Yeah. So that's really, yeah, I don't trust that. Either way, we do have a good gap, no matter what. We look at it on a 15-minute chart. We do have a gap either way, some situated within this area. And it looks like that's where price is trying to want to get to. So the weekly open is up here at the Monday high for the dollar. This is where we opened up and then we immediately dropped down. So, and it looks like that's where the price of the dollar is trying to get back to. Open at 858, close at 929. Yeah. Weird. So the gap clearly is above that. Either way, we have a pretty open gap that has not been touched by price at all. And obviously, that's where the dollar's trying to get to. Broken above this, consolidated, and now we're pushing. So there's no reason why this should break down right now. So I think the dollar's going to keep coming, which means this should keep breaking down. And but yesterday, I don't know, they didn't do what they were supposed to do. So, but this is what that's what I'm looking at for the day. Let's look at the ES. Probably going to be pretty similar. Oh, we're at the median on the ES. So some divergence right there. Higher high. The Monday high was set at the market open on the ES where the NQ pushed higher later in the day. Yeah, we just didn't continue there. Is that 4 hour candle that's similar to the NQ? Stretch that out just a little bit in the time. Could be a good spot for it to kind of get and turn around if it gets up there. Let's go to 4 hour. Hey, these Mr. Josh. Thanks for coming in, man. See you tomorrow. Yeah. But yeah, I like this consolidation overall for a bullish move on the ES, but not today, I don't think. We got a little bit of a bull flag consolidation, but I think we continue down before we go up. Just get some people buying into the sell, and then nice little the weekly open right here on top of this, pretty good looking order block. There we've already pulled back into this liquidity here. So yeah, I don't trust a bull move in any of these markets right now. So even if we do kind of pop back up, I just think it's going to be part of this range. Maybe we get into that liquidity before breaking down. I think the way the dollar looks, and the NQ, I think I'm just sold on a bearish move. Just look at the Dow. Yeah, even weaker, right? Well below the median. That was market open yesterday, put the high in, just like the ES, but then broke down further and never recovered. So the NQ is the only one that actually made a higher high after the market open, showing its strength, but it looks really bearish compared to the rest of them. So it's a pretty good range established right here for the Dow too to stay in. I think that's the play today. I think patience is the play for more than anything. But I will be looking for a small bearish play. And then that's basically it. I'm gonna draw this out just in case. That way I know it's gonna be there. I will try and put it on my charts later. So the median is the area in which, if we continue to consolidate here at market open, this is going to be where my eyes look. So I'm going to want to get a short in to the median. If for some reason we start breaking down, then this is going to be the area where is going to be like the battleground. Are we going to break back up in range, or are we going to break down and come down a little bit further? And I think this is going to be the area of interest for all of it. So I think that's it. I think that's me today. Be careful, whatever you do. I think the dollar is going to be somewhat strong. Depends on this push, how early this push happens. If we decide to wait a little bit and consolidate here before we start the push, then I think the dollar is going to have a pretty big bullish day. If we decide to do this early, then we're going to just come back down in some choppiness. Those are my thoughts on basically today. Anything else y'all want to look at? Y'all want to look at something in particular? I haven't even looked at Forex in a while. So uh, thanks for being here, Kyle. Yeah, I think I'm good too. I think this is kind of where I want to look and what I will be doing. So be careful. And I will, I guess, holler at y'all in the morning. Try and be on Discord as much as possible today. So, but until tomorrow, y'all be careful. Yeah. Have a good one, Chris. Thanks for being here, man.